All right, guys. So I finally had the opportunity to see Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire. I actually saw it on the night it came out, which was the 21st. I got like an 8:10 showing at my local theater because apparently they're allowed to do that now. And I was very happy with it. So I'm gonna leave the poster behind me, but make myself a little bit bigger here, as you guys can see. That's the poster for it. See a lot going on there. Frozen Empire, lots of Frozen stuff. All right, so for me, I love what they've done with the Ghostbusters series. They have kept the story going in a great way, and the continuity is excellent. So if you don't want any spoilers, this is your warning to stop watching now. I'll do a brief pause so you can go away, go to something else, and give you like a short little time here. All right, if you're still here, then you've already seen it, or you don't care about spoilers. So I'm going to touch on just one portion of this, which is the whole theme of how the containment unit is going to be under attack and how there's problems. Where for me the continuity ties in well is the fact that this was talked about in the original Ghostbusters movie about the Twinkie. Everybody remembers the Twinkie scene. I'm sorry I'm not at a point where I'm putting video clips in. Maybe I should have done that, but anyway, if you know Ghostbusters, you know the Twinkie scene where it talks about like the containment getting full, what happens, and then there's the whole tell them about the Twinkie. That came up. So essentially for me, this was a continuation of that. The containment unit's getting full. This was always going to happen. And what were they going to do about that, right? Egon had plans, and as we see in the movie here, he had plans that never came to fruition because of his untimely demise in Afterlife. But it looks like he knew stuff was coming up. Now, things I was not happy about, but it's not like a big deal. I was expecting a Boson Collider pack. I wish they'd bring in the new proton packs from the Ghostbusters video game. I feel those are important tools they should be having. I do like that they showed in the Ghostbusters facility that they had the slime pack from Ghostbusters 2, and they had some of the little gadgets we've seen here and there, but I would like to see some more items brought into the franchise. I think it needs a refresh. The newer packs are neat to see, but they weren't anything particularly special. For me, there was no difference between the new packs and the old packs. I did like the copper add-in. I think that looked neat. Little things like that make me happy. But I think that we're at a position where they're passing the torch on. Now, if you didn't know, Dan Aykroyd has already said with Ghost Corps that he would like to see the Ghostbusters franchise taken overseas where there's more storied and more historied parts of things. Also, Ghostbusters haven't been international yet, so there's a lot of threats they haven't dealt with. And for me, that means other demigods, other demons and spirits that just haven't been dealt with, that have been roaming around for long, long periods of time, just restrained to do what they want. So I think it's going to go in good place if they continue to do that. I do like the way they're kind of taking the older cast and moving them a little bit out of the way, but still including them. I felt like with Winston's character, he did a good job of being kind of that manager of the Ghostbusters. Now, somebody had to take it over in a professional capacity, and I like how his story arc went from the guy just looking for a paying job to someone who has taken the Ghostbusters, protected them, and provided a pathway for them to be more successful and sustainable going forward. So, all in all, I loved it. I thought it was a great movie. I am looking forward to, more stuff going on. Just a side note, I did like Afterlife more. Not that I hate this movie. It's just, for me, it was the nostalgia and the carrying on of things that was more closely in. With this, it was new territory, so it's hard having to step away that familiar. And that's what happens when a franchise continues on. But they have done a great job with filling in plot gaps, with continuing the story and making things make sense. It has been a while since the 80s, and that pains me to say because that means I'm old, but it's been a while since the 80s, which means a lot of the tech they had is going to age. A lot of these things are going to have problems. And also pushing the envelope, one of the hallmarks of 80s films and stories was if you're into like gaming and stuff, there's always like that artifact, right? That's why we like Supernatural, because there was that artifact that could defeat evil, or there was like that piece of equipment or that thing that was just better than all, and then something beats that, and then you're just like, oh my god. And for me, the proton packs being frozen, solid essentially, and stopping down was kind of neat. But they kind of tell you why there's the beginning of the movie. You don't understand that? I'll explain it if that was confusing, because I feel some people might get hung up on that. But I thought it was neat. The packs went super hot. It's a particle accelerator. Like, they had a problem keeping those cool. That was always the danger. They could explode, and then just to see this thing come along that completely stops it in its tracks was so neat. So many neat things. Obviously, bigger and better bad guys. We always loved that. I always loved 80s and 90s programming because there was a bigger and better bad guy. Almost every series, Power Rangers, all of that had those things where there was always a bigger and better enemy, and destruction always led to something more. Just because something was completely gone, you had that moment of despair, but then it was like, oh, they're coming back stronger. There's new stuff out of this they've learned. So anyway, if you've seen the movie already, I know it's barely like a day out. What are your thoughts? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you like where the franchise may be going, or do you think they should end it here?